I'm here. It's 2 p.m. Something different. I'm not used to not having someone to talk to while different. So here I am. Worked my butt off to get there. But mentors get a really bad reputation, and what drives me nuts about it is people don't want to take advice from mentors. But yet some of us aren't doing this mentorship for the mount. And I'm going to prove something, because I actually had someone today say that I became a mentor strictly for my mount. And I didn't. So, I want to show this. Let's see. I'm going to class, I believe. I got some notes here. I'm going to cover them. But we're going to start with this. Character, class. Go down. So, I hope the mentor will notice me. Now, you see this is the first one. Complete 10 duties as a mentor. I haven't even done one. I didn't even know what the mount looked like until I'd been a mentor for 2 weeks. It was to help people. So when I was accused of that today, it kind of what triggered doing this live feed. So another thing I want to cover is tanks running off. Now, as a healer, you have to keep the whole team alive. But tanks like to do something that drives me nuts, because I main tank. And I'll show this, because I don't have a lot of classes set up. I'll go to my paladin. So you can see my paladin is set level 70. Eye level is 322. No big deal. I know how to tank. But I also know that as a tank, you have to be a team player. You can't run off. You're not the hero of the group. As much as the tank wants to be the hero of the group, you're the person there to help the group get through the dungeon. But you rely on your healer just as much as the whole team does. So when you run off and your healer runs out of MP, what is there to do? And then tanks have a tendency to get mad at healers. It's their first reaction when the healer runs out of MP and they're on group number 3 in a high-level dungeon. There's nothing we can do about it as a healer. It's just gonna happen. So, you gotta really watch that as a tank. I was reading one of the Final Fantasy Facebook groups, and someone was asking about Flash. And being a tank, how often should you use it? After level 60, they were asking. Now, after level 60, as long as you have Shield Oath, you shouldn't need Flash very often. Flash should just be on an occasion when you're starting to lose aggro. Watch your characters on the side. If if the healer starts going up, you need to do Flash. That's about the only time you need to. If the DPS starts pulling aggro from you, use Flash. Don't just use Flash to waste your MP, because you may need it later on for higher level classes. Don't get used to relying on Flash. You can't. Flash is just as bad as the healer relying on Medica strictly for the whole team. Or Medica too. You can't do it. It wastes all your MP too fast. So, what else do I want to cover here? While I talk to you, I am going to jump into a dungeon here. Just because I want to see how people run off, so I can kind of talk about that a little bit. What was I in today? Oh, I was in Sushi, whatever, Violet Tides. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I'm not even going to pretend to. So, I'm going to join this as a healer, and I want to talk about what happens, because I'm pretty sure we're going to see a tank take off. If we don't, I would be surprised. So I was in this earlier.
As a healer, if the tank runs, I let them burn, LOL.
They need to. My tanking style is very different. I like to make sure that the healer is always taken care of. And see, here we go. Here's our example. Tank's taken off on me. So I finally did get Protect on him, but I can guarantee you I'm going to end up with aggro. He is a warrior, so let's see what ends up happening here. So I'm going to throw some regen on him until he figures out where he's stopping, because apparently he thinks that I'm just going to massively heal him through this. I hit Lucid Dreaming to lose aggro, but now I have to also focus on this DPS because the tank isn't paying attention. So this is a prime example of something you're going to come across as a healer, no matter what level, especially as you get higher level. For some odd reason, tanks seem to think the higher the level, the easier it is for you to do stuff like this. So try to heal them best you can. Throw a bubble around them if you have it.
Use holy and run.
Use holy and run. No. Use holy and run. Okay. This is just an example of some of the stuff you're going to come across as a healer, but they're also going to want you to DPS at the same time they're doing this. And I'm the type of healer that I'm not going to DPS. I'll throw some out. I'll throw my arrow too, but I'm not breaking my neck or my MP for a tank. Not going to happen. Or the DPS for that matter. You know what? That's what they're there for. They're supposed to be statted for that. So we can't do, yeah, as a healer you just can't. So I'm not going to even bother with Medica 2 right now. See, right now I can use a little arrow. I can help them out just a little bit. But again, I'm not wasting my MP for them. So he didn't even give me a chance. I was going to use Medica, but Medica 2 before he pulled. But there he goes. The tank just seems to think that they're the hero, and because as a main tank, you're not. You have to watch everybody. And today when I was running, tank took off. He did ready check during bosses, and I refused to say yes. But he still ran off. He still started the bosses without checking to make sure. Even when I put, no. I don't even know what's going on in the chat. It says, come here, Angro, you sexy thing. I don't know who that is. There's nobody named Angro in this group. But yeah, as a healer, you're going to come across a lot of stressful situations. And you just, you're going to get yelled at. You're going to have people tell you, you're not healing fast enough. You're not DPSing for them. You got to play your way. And if you're more comfortable doing what I'm doing, just healing, then do it. Because there's no right or wrong to playing. And I just use Lucid Dreaming, but he's not pulling aggro of the little guys. So I am running to him because that's his job. Don't freak out if you get aggro. Just run. Run to the tank, give him aggro. Even if you have to stand by him for a few minutes and throw a Medica out until he realizes it, do it. Because sometimes tanks are so self-centered and so into what they're doing that they don't even realize who has aggro. They don't realize the names on, or the things on the side. They don't see the red or the green. Always make sure to use Insuno when they have something on them. But yeah, the tanks just, they want to run off. Well, this is what you deal with. So if you don't want high pressure, then your best bet is to become a DPS. But you know, I, for one, never thought I could actually be a healer. But, as you can tell, I'm in a, what, level 63 place. I'm doing just fine. This tank actually is doing pretty good as far as watching my MP, which doesn't happen very often, but let me get some Medica on everybody now that he's got aggro. There we go. I'm going to throw a cure out, heal him, and then throw a bubble around him. That's simple, you don't, and then throw some regen on him. Now that he's got full aggro, everybody's buffed, I have a chance to throw some arrow out, and I can, you know, help the team out a little bit. But I'm not gonna take that risk until I know, you know, everyone's safe and taken care of. As you can tell, everybody's staying pretty good. Aggro's not on me, so a little more Medica. Medica 2, actually, because that actually lasts longer. I got a DPS that actually is paying attention and saw the ad was on me. So I'm going to run out of this. Medica. Didn't heal everybody, so I'm going to swift cast and then Medica. There we go. Throw some cure, throw some regen, and get ready to throw another bubble on them. Don't freak out if that happens because, you know, that's just the mechanics of the game. I've been blamed as a tank for losing aggro when a boss just turns on the healer, and you gotta pay attention to your dungeons. You don't have to watch videos on everything. There's too much, you got a life. Just know that, you know, mechanics you can't control. So even if you're a tank and you lose aggro, well, that's not your fault. Because you're not technically losing aggro, it's just part of the game. And this goes for new and old players. Put some Medica 2 out. Swift cast, Medica 1. We should all be fine. Gives me a chance to heal the DPS if I could get him into range. Regen the tank. I don't even know what conversation is going on over here in the chat here, but I don't have time to read it. As you can tell, I'm more of a focus player. I don't really have a lot of time to read the chats and see what's going on. I try to focus on what I'm doing, because you can slip up and screw up. And I'm also greedy, so you'll see me greed a lot of stuff. But I usually take it over if it's too low of level, and I will trade it in with NPC guild and get seals. Which I usually use for ventures myself, but, you know, that's okay too. For some odd reason, this one DPS keeps pulling aggro. So while he's running, I'm going to throw regen on him because I can. Medica 2. He's got complete aggro, so I'm okay with using Medica. He's got regen on him now, so I don't have to watch too hard. I can throw out another bubble, and there we go. Now I can focus on just curing him when he needs it. Don't try to use Cure 3 because it will pull aggro even in high level places very quickly. And it will waste your MP very quickly. Since we're just standing here, I will throw out another Medica 2. Another Cure. Keep focus on the tank. And throw out a regen. Now I can throw a little DPS to help out. Even if I just hit one player and then go back to focusing on healing, that's usually what I do. What you don't want to do is you don't want to use Medica as the tank is pulling. Either Medica, it doesn't matter what level you are, because you will pull aggro very quickly. Same with regen. Don't use it before the tank hits a boss. Don't use it before the tank hits a group, because they will all turn on you. But as a tank, please don't do this to your healer. That's all I ask. Because this is too much for a healer. See, I've got aggro and I haven't even cast anything. But because I cast Medica before he ran out of the room, I now have his aggro. So now I gotta wait till I catch up to him and then hit Lucid Dreaming and hope it works. And it didn't. See? He still hasn't pulled the aggro. There we go. Now I'm just gonna focus on curing him till I can get his health to a safe point that I can do this. Then I will use Medica now that he's got full. I can heal the DPS at the same time and myself. And now we can focus on healing him again. Now they get safe to pop a Medica too, since it's got long-term effects. There we go. Tank is pretty much buffed. I can regen him and we should be good for a few minutes at least. And he takes a good hit. Now I'll throw some DPS on some of these that are lower health. See if I can't help kill him. Some Medica too, just because he's going to take off running as soon as this is over. I believe we come across the boss next, so should be okay. But just in case, some regen. I'm going to use, I call it Larganese, to help my healing. Makes my healing go, it helps your healing. Same with Presence of Mind, it makes your skill speed a little faster. You want to try to use that for bosses and runs like this. Throw some arrow out. But as you can tell, my MP's half busted. Let's see what he does. There we go. Needed those. And I tried to cancel it, but I couldn't. So I'm gonna use, there we go, Lucid Dreaming. I lost aggro. I'll throw a bubble over him. Regen him. And now just focus on curing him. There we go. Now I'll do this. Oh, crap. I messed that up. I was supposed to jump into that box, but nothing I can do about it now. So, just heal myself here. And as you can tell, I've got aggro, or starting to get aggro, so I'm not going to throw much out until I have to cure the tank, but I'm definitely not going to regen him or do anything special aside from use cure. And I'm going to catch this DPS before we lose them. I'm not quite sure what is hitting them. They shouldn't even have that much aggro. Hit her with some. Throw some regen. I'm going to have to, even though I don't want to, because I can risk pulling aggro. Oh, I was right by the box. Oh, good. There we go. But this one you want to try to jump into the box so you don't get seduced. And DPS has got aggro. And I couldn't pick her up, so we're going to do this. Throw a bubble. Regen. I don't think the tank's standing in the... There we go. Let's see it is. Okay, the tank finally got aggro back, so I can kind of focus on throwing some Medica out. Try to get some on at least that girl. Oh crap, they took all the... Okay, so I got seduced. Oh well. Not much I can do about it. Since I don't have Swiftcast right now, because I had to use it, we're going to do that. We're going to throw some Medica 2, or Medica 1 out. I'm going to regen the tank, and then just go back to focusing on the tank. Okay. I'm going to try to keep this box to my back just in case. Because sometimes she'll show you. The last time I played it, she threw me into it, so. Oh, and she didn't. And I didn't even see that coming. My bad. Oh well. We got this. Oh, and then I go into the box. Thrown into it beforehand, or you get thrown into it after. Never fails. I'll just grate this stuff. So boss number 2's down. And we're just waiting on the tank, who somehow went from being in a hurry to being behind. So before he even hits anything, there we go. Throw some Medica 2 on him, maybe some regen, and we're good to go. Get my bubble ready, because he's just going to pull everything in this area. Oh, he's actually going to go up the stairs. The last one, when I played, didn't go that far. Apparently he has more faith in me than the last one. Let's heal this DPS, so then I can just focus strictly on the tank. He's got aggro, so... Throw some Medica 2 on everybody. Run back. Get out of the way. And now I can focus back on healing. There we go. This, yeah. I'm not a big fan of this dungeon. That's why I picked it for this. Because I just wanted to show an example of what the tanks usually do, especially as you get higher level. I know there's a lot of people, you know, that freak out when they become a healer at low level because of stuff like this. As you can see, it just gets worse. But the nice thing is, last time I ran this, I was actually only in level 64 gear. And of course they level sync it, but my gear is now 66. So I was able to level when I was here, which helped my gear immensely when I got new gear and put piety stones. My MP's higher than it was the last time I ran it. But I'm still blasting through MP. Okay, everybody's healed, so I'll throw some DPS on everything. Help this go a little faster. In that area, things are going to hit you anyways, because that's how they're set up. You can't hit them, but they can hit you. And there's one of them. It's those blowfish things. And I don't have a bubble right now, so focus on the DPS. Oh, I just noticed something. We have a DPS without protect on, but I can't find him. Oh, she's behind me. Get out of the way. Throw a bubble. And then just go back to healing. Cure him twice. Throw some regen. He's got full aggro, so I will just do this. Medica 2 on everybody. Got 2 bombfish on me, so I just hit Lucid Dreaming. It helps my MP, and it also helps lose that aggro. Make sure to hit Larganese and Presence of Mind so I can keep up. Maybe I'll be lucky and get the minion this time. That would be fun. Oh, earlier I was running Castrum. That's one of my dailies. And that's a funny little
what's
story.
the numbers do on the side with everyone's name?
Okay, so the numbers on the side with everyone's name, right now they're just
It keeps
listed
moving.
1, 2, 3. The ones that move tell you who's got aggro and who's the highest on the list. So, like right now, I actually am number 3. But I have to watch how many spells I cast because that I can move up very quickly. Right now, it's not showing who's got what. But as you can tell, she came out of the water and I am glowing orange. So I have to watch out how much I use of anything right now. Because my lucid dreaming is not, it's in cooldown. So, you want to watch those numbers, especially as a tank you want to watch those numbers. See, this tank is not even paying attention to what's going on. He's supposed to be hitting these guys and stopping them from basically killing us. I'm trying to throw Medica out, but I can't. There we go. Picked her up. Yeah, this tank is not completely focused. I know I picked up that DPS. But okay, what ticks me off is that I waste my swift cast on him. It says that I did it, and then I have to do this sometimes. I don't know why. Throw some Medica 2 out because I've already got some aggro on me anyways. Gotta keep everyone alive, so. Okay. Well, I don't have any aggro right now, so I'm safe. I gotta throw regen. Oh, I don't have time to type to everybody to look away, so. And then I looked away and I still got it. Okay. See, as a healer, you're gonna get into pickles like this. Not much you can do about it. You just kinda gotta go with the flow and try to focus on keeping everyone alive. And as my friend always tells me, and my husband, cure yourself before everyone else, because you die, everyone dies. So I just healed myself. Try to throw Medica 2 on everybody before she comes up. There we go. Got that. That. my Larganese, my presence of mind. Now I can focus on quick healing the 2 DPS, and we are back in business. Everybody still has Medica 2 on them. Throw another regen on the tank since he was running out. And we're good. Just keep an eye on the tank's health. And look away. Ah, I dodged it. There we go. There we go. Bubble. Some regen. And that is how you handle high-level stressful situations as a healer. It's not too bad as long as you're paying attention to everything. Well, music came up, not the minion. Now I'm going to turn into an old lady while I'm running around in here. I am actually going to give her my accommodation. That's one thing you should always try to do, is always give somebody an accommodation. You want one? Well, everyone else needs it too. So I always make sure before I leave any dungeon, any instance, that I always give somebody accommodation. Unless they all leave before I get a chance. Now, what else did I want to cover here? So basically I showed you how to handle a high-level situation as a healer without freaking out. And yes, 2 people died, but it's going to happen. You can't get all upset with yourself. Just go with it. That's pretty much, you know, the gist of it. You know, nobody told me off that I could tell. They said thank you for rezzing them. Covered mentorship. I covered getting yelled at as both a tank and a healer. You're also going to have times as a tank where your healer wants to go be your tank. It's going to happen. They're going to tell you you don't use, what was the expression I got? CDs. Use your cooldowns. It's not a healer's job to be running in front of the tank. If you're running in front of the tank, you deserve whatever comes at you. If you drop and the rest of the team drops, that's your fault. That is not the tank's fault. You run ahead, that's your business. But the tank cannot save you if you don't let the tank do their job. And if the tank is statted right, you don't have a problem. Tank can handle the big pulls if you ask them to. Check their gear. Always check it, because sometimes you will come across a paper tank. Paper tanks are fun. Had a couple of those. Almost made me want to give up being a mentor because of it, but you know, it happens. So paper tanks usually, if you check their gear and you're constantly healing them, they are not wearing the right gear. I've come across it. I came across it in a level 59 dungeon where the tank was wearing level 50 gear and blamed me as the problem, as the healer. Can't do anything about it. So you gotta, with Final Fantasy, you gotta go with the flow. Don't get mad at everybody. If you're the tank, don't get mad at the healer if you die because you've made you pulled too much. You know, I've come across some that will yell at me as the healer. I've also come across some that will literally say, hey, you know what, I just Leroy Jenkins'd you. And you leave it at that. You laugh, you write it off, you know, you didn't heal them because they pulled too big, too fast. But the same, it's both hands. As a DPS, you're pretty much in the middle. If you're getting mad at people, then maybe you're doing something wrong yourself. Because as a DPS, you're there to do the hits. You are there to be healed, and you're there to follow the tank. If you're going ahead of the tank and you die, that's your fault. It is not the healer's fault, nor the tank. So just kind of, you know, find your niche. I've done all 3 classes that I've got. Got my healer, which is now level 66 going on 68. I will get it to 70. I'll start statting it eventually. I have Dragoon, level 70. working on Ninja, level 64, I believe. I've got my tank, level 70. You just play around, you find your niche, whatever you're good at. If you're, you know, I've found a correlation in life. I have a tendency to be a protector in real life, so I work well as a tank. I also am a mom, caregiver, so I work well as a healer. But I can also work as a DPS where I don't have to worry about any focusing besides hitting that boss. You want to stat your Dragoon, you want to stat your any kind of DPS, you always want to give it a critical and direct hit so you can always hit them and your chains will go off very well. As far as I lost my controller. So as far as tank, I want to cover this really quick and then I'll end my feed here. Well, let's cover White Mage first. White Mage is, a lot of people say put into mind because it basically helps the class itself. I actually prefer, as advice from my husband, to use critical gems and piety. Piety adds to your MP. So as you can tell, I'm a level 67 White Mage, and my MP is 16,000. And it will continue to go up the more piety gems I add. Well, right now my gear is where it's going to be until I level, and I probably won't buy any more until 68 anyway. So, like my rings got taken off that I had on. But let's see.
It also adds to healing as well.
Yes, piety also adds to healing. Thank you. Here's my actual gear, which I actually wasn't running with, and that's probably not good. But I'm going to do equip gear set, and as you see, it went up to 16,923. I'm almost at 17,000. So I prefer critical and piety. You can go mind. You can you can read about them and decide what works for you. But then we're going to go over to my paladin. Now, I can do a lot of high-level dungeons and not have to worry about dying or relying completely and solely on my healer. I don't know if you noticed in that last dungeon.
I've noticed when you get so high in level, the gear is already maxed on mind.
Okay, I noticed when you get so high in level. Yep. Yes. The gear is already maxed in mine. Sometimes it's already maxed in piety. So that's when the critical comes in, because then you can actually use it to rip off a heal when you need to. Direct hit rate probably would work also. Let's see. Now we're looking at my tank. This is, eye level 322. I'm working on getting it higher, but right now I'm more working on my Dragoon. It just all depends on what you want to work on. I right now don't
for strength and tank.
Some for strength and tank, yeah. You want to use some strength gems, but if you notice, like the sword I've got on, it's 191. I could have used a strength gem in there, but it wouldn't. I think it was almost maxed out to begin with. So the strength gem, I would have had to go with a lower gem anyways. So I wanted to go with the max gem. So I went tenacity. You'll see I have a tenacity plus 12. I want to get rid of that eventually, but I can't because it's going to make me pull out the 40 before the 12. You can't pick which one you do first. But like my helmet, I still got to go get tenacity gems, my body armor. This is the stuff I've picked up from doing Rabber Nasty. Yes, I call it that. But I run it as Dragoon, and then I pick up the armor when nobody needs or greeds it. I pick it up for my Paladin. So that's why I don't have gems in it just yet. As far as you can tell, more tenacity. I gotta get higher levels for that. But tenacity. Right now I have plus 12 on most of my tenacities. And now that I'm showing you guys this, I am seeing how much I have to go pick up today. But tenacity helps. Some people say it's junk for a paladin. For myself, tenacity is actually, for me, it helps with your healing when you have to heal yourself in a pinch. And I don't know if you noticed, but like warrior can't heal themselves, but paladin can. And so you want tenacity so you can heal yourself. I can rip heal myself right now with this class for about 17,000. And that's doing just things like striking tree. We were farming last night for a friend for a pony. I was rip healing myself for 17,000 so the healer could go heal somebody else. It's that simple. That's partly why I prefer paladin, because I can heal myself and I don't have to, the healer can go heal somebody else. And that, to me, I like that. I prefer strength and tenacity in my tank. I can take a hit. I can't give a hit, but that isn't my job as a tank. If I want to be a DPS tank, I have to go Dark Knight. I don't want to go Dark Knight. I like knowing that when I go into that trial, that raid, that dungeon, that my tank is the tank that the healer can watch, the healer can heal, but they don't have to completely focus on me, especially if there's another tank in the room. And they're a Dark Knight, they're a warrior. They're statted to make the hits. I'm not. So I can play around. I stay alive in a lot of dungeons. I don't have problems in a lot of dungeons. It just works out. There's not a lot of times in high level dungeons that I die as a paladin. I also don't do big pulls. So it all depends on what kind of tank you want to be. If you want to make big pulls, but check with your healer first. A quick message in the message box saying, hey, are big pulls okay? Your healer's going to say yay or nay. And if you see a leaf, please don't do that to the healer. If they're brand new, don't put that on them. It's stressful jumping into healer. I'm going to tell you firsthand, I didn't want to become a healer, but I did it. Did it for mentorship, but I did it to help people. I showed you at the beginning. I am not a mentor that runs around and wants the mount. You saw firsthand, I don't even have one dungeon done towards it. So if you see a leaf and you're a tank, please have some compassion for the leaf, because those are the players that we want to stick around. Those are the players that we want to grow our community with. That's all I'm saying. Because you want Final Fantasy XIV to continue? It will. But don't push the players away. That's all I ask. You just saw what a tank did to me, and I'm a mentor. He saw the crown and thought, hey, she can do it. Yeah, it came close. 2 people died, both DPS. I can do it. But someone with a leaf is going to give up. If you yell at them, they're going to give up. And then there's no subscription right there. That means less going into our game. So have compassion for those leaves, and have compassion for your other players. If you're a tank, ask the healer for the pulls. If you're a healer, go with the flow. Don't freak out. If the tank pulls too much, if they die, tell them. You pulled too much too fast. I got stuck. Be open. Keep communication going, but without yelling or telling someone off. Swearing at someone in this game is not going to do any good. It's just going to deter more people from playing. You may lose the DPS. You may lose a healer. I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong, and you could stop people from wanting to play. So those are the things I wanted to touch base on. Thank you for joining. I don't see any other questions going on right now. You can always hit me up on YouTube. When you watch the video, you can leave a comment, a question. I will respond. If there's something that I didn't cover or make clear, leave me a comment. Like my video and subscribe. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy Friday. Happy holidays.